The Four Beadsmen of the Book Apocalypse.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just good.
Just good.
all round.
Just good.
Good day.
Yeah.
Good.
Good day, good morning.
Love it.
Yeah.
Time neutral greeting.
We wrangled this. We made it work.
Good.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Adrian Gibson.
Hey,
who's on
man.
the podcast. This
Happy
is
to
like
be here.
podcastception.
This is like multiverses colliding, man.
It so is.
Yeah.
And never too late. Never too. Yeah.
I feel like this one was a long time coming.
Indeed.
We were just schedule conflicting the entire time.
Yeah. I've been waiting, man. I've been waiting for the messages of like some handsome beardy guys to just be like, hey, you want to hang out?
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere.
I mean, I don't have a beard, so it's like I gotta hang around with people that have beards to make myself feel better.
That doesn't have to hold you back, Adrian.
No.
Charlie's just like, dude, doesn't matter.
Yeah, they let me hang out.
They let me hang out. Because you're
Yeah,
cool and you're
absolutely.
Australian.
Asterisk
Yeah.
next to beard.
Australian
Yeah,
really helps.
With the inner beard, that's what we would like to refer to.
Yeah,
as.
inner beard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my inner beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your usual beards are MJ Kuhn and Greta. So
There you go. And Crystal Matar, like she's not
Yeah.
an official co-host on the SFF Addicts podcast, but she's like, you know, she's my
Look at
OG beard.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Well, if you shave your face more often than they do, then you've got a leg up on them as far as beards go. You
I'll
will
have to
have
talk,
questions.
yeah, I'll have to talk to my 3 female friends about their
Yes.
beard shaving scenarios.
and we've been cancelled in record time this week. So.
Yeah.
My fault. Every time.
Yeah. The next episode of SFF Addicts is just me.
Crickets.
Not talking to him anymore.
yeah, I mean, I still remember when you first started SSF Addicts, and it seems like it was just a couple of days ago, but actually it's been a few years.
Yeah, dude.
You've been doing it
It's really flown by because I'd lost track of it after a while. And then I came back to like, okay, like when did we actually start? Like when did I publish my first episode? And then I realized the episode that we were doing at Worldcon, the live episode that we did, was 4 years to the week of us starting the podcast. So it's like 4 years have flown by,
Man.
but does not feel like it at all. And at the same time, I'm like, hell yeah, we've accomplished so much.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge for 4 years.
Yeah.
I've got a list of people you've interviewed because I was going to ask you some
Jeez.
questions about them, and then I started naming names that I recognize, and then names that are huge and just awesome that you've interviewed. And the list is too long for me to sit here and even say. It's long and varied list. And
I mean, we're coming up on like 180 episodes. So
awesome.
yeah,
Right.
but it's been a wild ride, man.
Yeah,
And that,
I mean,
that World Cup panel is absolutely insane. I remember thinking, like, when that was coming up and I was watching it, I was thinking, this guy's going to be so nervous, so uptight. And then you came strolling in, cool, completely upstaged the entire panel with your relaxed, cool attitude. And I was like, yes.
And inside, I was a nervous fucking wreck.
It did not show. You guys,
Saw none of it. Yeah.
you guys are very professional, and the way that you juggle questions from one to the next of your hosts, I don't want to say it makes us look like stuttering children, but it's very professional, and I can see why you guys had the honor of that panel at Worldcon.
Yeah.
And
Dude, I mean, it was like completely random though. Like I've become friends with the program director now because like we communicated so much, and like we had multiple calls in order to put this panel together and like fit it into the schedule and everything like that. And so like during the convention, we actually had like I just went up to the office where they have like all the people working for the convention, and just like sat down, hung out with her for like half an hour, and yeah, we just got to chatting, and I was like, why did you even let us do this? Because I was like very very straight, because I was really curious, man. I was like,
Sure.
you didn't know who the hell we were, you know? And she was like, yeah, you got, like, I watched some of your episodes, because I basically, like, when I applied, I pitched them on some panels, which they accepted a couple, and then I pitched them on doing a live episode of the podcast, and she was like, yeah, I watched a few episodes, you guys seem to know what you're doing. And I was like, cool, man. Like, that's actually like really, really welcome praise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it was like, cool, you had enough confidence to be like, okay, I'll give these people a shot. And then she gave me free reign and was like, invite whoever you want. And I was like, well, let's fucking go.
The fact
Wow.
you guys have a skill of, you or your team has a skill of plucking out nuggets of gold from interviews, you know, and sharing those either as YouTube shorts or just here and there. I don't know where all I've seen them.
Yeah.
But
It's like mostly like on Instagram Reels and
okay, maybe that's where I've
and like YouTube shorts. I'll post the same thing on like YouTube as I do on
For
Instagram
sure.
kind of thing. But that's just part of my editing process. Like while I'm editing an episode, I'll just be like, or like even while we're recording, I'll just jot down like a little timestamp or something. And then when I go back and I edit it, then I'll basically just pick out like, here's like a, I don't know, like a 3-minute segment, and I'll edit that down to like a minute and a half or something. So
I think the first one of those that I saw that I was like, damn, was Stu Turton, possibly.
Dude, Stuart's so great.
He's crazy.
That was one of my favorite interviews ever.
And I know you're a fan of his book, 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
What
all of his books are good.
That's the only one I've read, and I know he's you know, he's got more. And it's such a weird, like, I don't know what the genre, what to call, video game, murder mystery.
Don't spoil it, Dave.
Sorry.
Spoil it, man.
True. I'm terrible at spoiling. I'm so bad at that.
I mean, the book is like, I don't know, like 6 years old. So
It
whatever.
is.
But
such a cool
spoiler
book.
moratorium up. Yeah.
It's a very cool book.
Yeah. But that was actually one of those interviews where it was like, I'd never heard his voice beforehand. Like I'd read some of his like online text Q&As and interviews and stuff like that. And like read some essays and things that he'd written, but I never heard his voice before. And so it's kind of like you read someone's book and in your head you have a certain image about like what they might look like or be like or act like. And Stuart is like the complete opposite of what you expect. I mean, anyone who goes and reads that or watches that interview or listens to it is like, he's like a very cheeky, like small town British dude. And he writes like the most mind fucky murder mysteries, like horror stuff. It's crazy. So,
he's insightful though. The stuff he had to say, he's deep. He's a deep fella.
Yeah.
But I've seen that. There's a few also like few people I spoke, like I think Holly Tinsley's another one, like grim as fuck books, but such a sweet, nice
very
person.
bubbly,
How does this? Where does this darkness come from?
It's like the darkness doesn't exist in my daily life because I put it into stories.
Yeah,
I get it all out on the page.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why horror
I'm
authors
also
are like
taking
the
notes.
coolest, chillest people.
I was also taking notes. Adrian's editing. That's something we should think about.
Yeah, this is just 90 minutes of us grilling Adrian for podcast tips. Like this is.
I wasn't going to go that direction.
David was trying to be subtle about it, and Tom just ruined the whole shit.
But no, I suppose because you've done SSF Addicts. I remember when you first started out because you used to get a lot of the Fanfi Addict members on. Like I've been on one of the early episodes when my name was different.
Yeah.
Like where do you go from here with SFF Addicts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I talked to MJ and Greta about this recently because it's like we all hung out in Seattle. We did this panel, and it's kind of like one of those jokey things of like, did we just like plateau? You know what I mean? But no, I mean, it's mostly like the guests that we're continuing to get on and people who were at Worldcon and saw what we did and like are now interested in coming on the podcast just because of that. It's kind of like, yeah, man, like we're doing really well. So we're just going to continue what we're doing. And our goal is maybe to like do one convention a year where
Nice.
we all meet up and go in person. So it's like this year we did Worldcon. Next year it's in Los Angeles, so we're not going to go. And instead go to Dragonsteel Nexus in Utah. And then the year after that, maybe go to like Worldcon in Montreal or something along those lines. And now that we have this panel sort of in like our podcast resume in a way, then it's easier for us to say like, hey, Worldcon 2027, we did this massive panel back in 2025. Would you guys be down to host or like let us host a live episode during the Montreal Worldcon? You know, or like Dragonsteel Nexus is like, that's not something we have to put any effort into, because like after we did the panel in Worldcon, Brandon and his team invited us to Dragonsteel, and so it's like we're basically planning like a road trip in the Southwest. Nice. Gonna go to Santa Fe, like meet up in Santa Fe, and then like road trip through the Southwest and see what kind of shenanigans we get into on our way up to Salt Lake City. So
nice.
It's like you're fast becoming the broken binding, but of the SFF podcasting world. Slowly taking over. It's incredible. Like
one interview at a time.
Yeah. Well, I think like the chemistry, like I don't know how MJ and Greta came to join the podcast. Like, was it quite hard to source like people? Because you used to do it all on your own, which was a hell of an undertaking.
It was too much, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Like sometimes we struggle with the four of us.
Well, sometimes we struggle because there's four of us. But...
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know like the pain in the ass that is time zones.
Oh god.
So and just like scheduling based around that in particular. But no, like with MJ and Greta, it was really pretty seamless. Like MJ came on for this is basically like October 2022. She came on for a panel on heists in SFF, and that was a really fun episode. And it's just like that I'd known of her at that point, but then that was our first time meeting each other, and she was really cool and like we vibed. And then later that week we did a bonus episode where we reviewed House of the Dragon season 2 with one of the actors from the original Game of Thrones series, which was like a weird the actor, his name is Miltos Yaralamu, and he played like Syrio Forel in like the first season of Game of Thrones, the guy who teaches Arya how to like sword fight.
Yeah.
And so just like by random connection, like one of our friends works in the UK film industry and was like, hey, I can invite this guy on, and he said yes, and just like hung out with us from his kitchen. And so like that week basically solidified like MJ's a really cool person. And then like a month and a half later, I was figuring out like, do I want to continue this? If so, do I bring on a co-host? Do I change the format? All that kind of stuff. Or do I quit? And I chose the former, and I'm really glad I did, like looking at what we've been able to accomplish since then. And yeah, like MJ and I had some calls, like we recorded a couple episodes together, and it was just immediate kind of thing. And then Greta, she was on the podcast with MJ and I, because her and MJ had been friends before that. So we had Greta on, we clicked really well. And then me and her stayed in an Airbnb together last year in Glasgow and had like a great time. We really became fast friends. And then MJ was basically like, yeah, like my full-time job, my day job, because like very few authors actually have full-time careers as authors. If in case anyone out there wasn't fully aware of that.
Just the illusion.
Annoying truth. Yeah. MJ was like, yeah, basically we need to bring on somebody else, or you need to start like hosting more solo episodes, basically. And then she suggested Greta, and I was like, yep. I literally just like spent 5 days with Greta, becoming like very good friends with her, and hell yeah, let's bring her on board. And so she was down, and that was basically it. So it wasn't a very difficult process at either point.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, chemistry is super important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wish we had it.
Yeah, we've been trying to get it the whole time. Bumping heads constantly.
I'm making some notes. I've got editing, chemistry. You know,
Charlie's it's just like a whiteboard, just like
yeah,
successful podcast 1. editing too.
All we've got is 4 beards. That's like we've not even got a full
really.
team of beards.
I mean, to be fair, your beards have chemistry, so
Yeah.
This is true.
there is that.
Well,
There's variety.
It's like on the RPG episodes when the beard powers come in. So we've got to just
There you go.
replicate that in real life.
Yeah.
Well,
Always a
I'm
bit
hoping
chaotic.
I was hoping that I don't know. I think 2028 there's some sort of Brisbane trying to grab WorldCon for that. So you'll have to come to a live one down under.
Yeah, I was talking to Tim Napper and Adrian Collins about that.
Yeah.
Because like now I know a bunch of people in Australia now, so it's kind of like, ooh, dude, this is actually. And one of my best friends from when I was living in Berlin, he lives in Byron Bay. So
okay, yeah,
it would give me a good excuse to like go do like an East Coast Australian vacation kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's about halfway between Brisbane and Sydney. So probably only 12 hours between the two cities. But
dude, I'm from Canada. That's easy.
Yeah.
Like anyone in the UK is just like, that's unfathomable. Take a plane.
Well, it's like the guys talk about time zone changing because we had our daylight savings a couple of weeks ago, but the whole country doesn't go. Well, there's a time difference between Sydney and Perth. Yeah. But then the rest, not everybody agrees to go on daylight savings, so it suddenly goes to like we've got cities at a half-hour time difference. Just
half-hour increments. That is a fucking abomination. That's like only way to make time zones worse. Put half-hour increments somehow.
I mean, India does the same thing. It's
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh God,
it's so
from hell.
Get it together, Australia.
So it's all good. So we'll pencil in for that for the live Beardsmen episode in 2028.
Oh hell yeah, man! We'll do it live.
Like the live crossover Beardsmen SFF Addicts.
Yeah, we'll be from the car park because we haven't got into the convention, but
we just crashed it. Move over, Adrian. We got.
Oh my god! Literally like in the bed of a truck.
Live from the broom cupboard in the convention center.
Yeah,
I love it, dude.
Adrian, I have questions for you that are I don't want to say less conventional than some interviews, but due to the nature of my research, I like to learn about a guest more than or just elsewise of what they may have been asked before.
Yeah.
So if any of these questions
I appreciate that.
Out, if any of these questions are bad, just say pass. I'm only saying that to make
you were going to say freak me out, and there's very few things that freak me out. But if it's a bad question, then I'll take you up on that. You've
been a tattoo artist before, so I would imagine yes, freaking out is can't be one of your go-tos.
No.
Well, first off, I wanted to say congratulations on SPFBOX for almost being first place or tying for first.
Like,
yes.
I mean, it's not a surprise because it's a fucking good book.
Thank you.
Yes. and obviously, winning and not winning both may have kind of equal, positives on your work and on your book and on your kind of existence. I'm looking through my notes. You would somewhere on online, you had mentioned some jobs you have. Okay, let's see here. There it is. Restaurants. You've done restaurant work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to tie this to mushrooms.
I mean, I can easily tie like my
please do
industry to mushrooms.
Sure.
I can be the segue for you. So I used to, back when I was in university, so it's like I grew up on Vancouver Island in British Columbia and then went to university in Vancouver. And while I was at university, I was like, I just like want to work a part-time job, not necessarily because I was like desperate for money, but because I wanted like a social environment outside of school. Because relying entirely upon university for like your social existence is kind of exhausting. And so I was like, I need something different. And so I ended up working at a restaurant in Vancouver. It was like a seafood restaurant. And it was actually where I met like some of my best friends who are still my best friends to this day. Like one of them was my groomsman. One of them is Nicholas Eames, the author of Kings of the Wild.
Oh, wow.
A bunch of them are just like musicians and actors and all kinds of really, really fascinating people. And then obviously like the people who are like you know, we call them like lifers in the restaurant industry, where they're there for life, you know, and it's
Yes.
like they're there when they're 40. And then I was back in Vancouver in August before Worldcon with some of my friends who I'd met there, and we had dinner there, and there were still people who were working there that we worked with like 15 years ago. So
That's a sign of a good place, though. If they're still there 15 years later, it must be a decent place.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's chaos, man. It felt like I mean, most restaurants are like this. It's like people doing cocaine, like people like smoking tons of weed, drinking tons after work,
Hooking up.
sometimes like during work, so much hooking up, like unbelievable amounts of like incest going on in this restaurant. But that restaurant is what made me fall in love with cooking. And so I was working like a mix of back of house and front of house, and I became friends with a lot of like the chefs who were working there. And like I even spent some time like working in the kitchen. And so all of that time made me really appreciate food in a new way, such that I came from a very, I would say, like culinarily conservative upbringing, where it's like, you know what I mean when I say like bland North American white people. And it's like, no offense to my parents or
my mom's not
like
watching. Yeah, my mom's not watching this.
Sorry to Mama List, but like there's like a lack of adventurousness when it comes to cooking. And it's like the most exotic you're gonna get is like, we're going to the Chinese restaurant in town, and it's like not real Chinese food at all. It's like fucking Kung Pao chicken and stuff like that. And so working in Vancouver and living in Vancouver and eating in Vancouver and hanging out with chefs and learning from chefs and going to restaurants with them made me fall in love with the act of cooking and the ability for people to express creativity through food. And so that's when I started to cook a lot more at home. That's when I started to experiment more with food. And also, because it's a restaurant, there are a lot of people who do drugs, as I said. And so at the same time, I was going on this like wild psychedelic journey where I was starting to experiment with psychedelics with people that I worked with, or like with my roommates and other friends. And so it's kind of this like the relationship that I had with mushrooms growing up, which was very much based in, I would say, like step one, childlike wonder and kind of a experimentation with nature and like kicking over logs and digging shit up and looking at bugs and mushrooms and all kinds of weird stuff, and that evolving into a more biologically oriented kind of outlook on mushrooms through biology classes in high school and learning about mushrooms in that way. And then as well as the psychedelic side of things.
Cool.
I feel like somebody really needs to make that into a Venn diagram for us all to enjoy.
Well, listen, there'd just be Adrian in the middle. So
Mushroom Blues in the middle, and then
I identify with a lot of that. Working in restaurants is why I am sort of the chef in my household now, and and that's why I know how to clean, and I clean as I go. I keep knives sharp, and
dude, when my wife cooks, she makes such a mess, and she knows it.
Too.
Like and so basically, like when I'm cleaning as I go, and she gets annoyed when I clean while she's going, and be like, "Oh, I'm not done with that thing yet," and I was like, "Well, in my mind, you are."
I clean up after my wife, or she'll turn around and I'll add, like I see how much salt she's added to a thing, and I'm like, need a little bit more of that. She hates it. I've stopped adding jalapenos to everything, so she's grateful for that.
That's totally fair. That's like a personal taste thing. You can add that at the end.
I can add that after.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, you're pulling like a ratatouille and just like throwing in the shit that this soup is missing. But when she's not looking, just like,
this soup is the best I've ever had it. I'm like, you did really good this time, honey.
Yeah. You did good.
Not talking about
just two strands of hair and you're manipulating her like this.
There's a rat hidden in my beard right now.
Yeah, exactly. You're wearing like a chef beard cover.
Upside down head.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're not sure what's living in Tom's beard, but it's a family.
That's where he hides his mic.
That's true. The microphone is in there. It's a little muffled. But
you were able to add, I was going to ask about psychedelic mushrooms, if that was any part of your your I don't know, your inspiration or your background or anything. So
Yeah.
thank you for answering all of that.
You're welcome. Yeah, and my psychedelic journey like continues until this day, so it's not like over or
I hear you.
or anything.
I dug up a post. This is also related to mushrooms. There was a shirt. I don't know when it was from, but somebody shared a shirt with you, and I think you shared it as well. It says MILF. Man, I love fungi.
Yeah.
Have you managed to acquire this shirt?
No, I haven't. I think that was Crystal Matar who shared that with me.
It may have been.
Yeah.
Cool shirt.
It was one of those things where it's like I mean, like people tag me in mushroom related stuff all the time.
Sure.
But that was one where I was just like, oof, like oh man, I need to figure out how to get this. But I haven't figured it out. Just because like shipping stuff to Ecuador is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do love fungi, so that sure like speaks to me through and through.
Let's do it now. Hang on. I'm in a bit of strife.
Tracking down, Charlie.
Oh no, I thought I was losing my internet. Sorry.
You're good, Charlie.
Yeah. I can hear you, Charlie. The light is still shifting, light to dark, dark to light.
Well, I have to cover my. I forget now on Dad's over because the sun's earlier, so there's no blind on that window, so I have to show stuff in front of it.
Adrian, we've determined that Charlie is in an AI generated room just because of how nonsensical it kind of appears from this angle.
Yeah.
There's a column over there. There's odd windows at different varying levels.
That does look very like AI generated architecture.
You see my bookshelf over there.
There are books over there, so
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
Charlie
also
himself
AI
is also AI generated.
Yeah, that's true.
gosh, what if Charlie's been a bot this whole time?
Yeah.
Error.
It just can't get the beard right. So it doesn't bother.
That's true. That's true. AI is not good enough to make realistic hair.
Yeah,
So.
and you know how you've never seen my hand, so you know.
That's true. Yeah. His fucking janky fingers.
Fingers. Yeah.
Okay, let's count them. How many?
Oh my god, dude! Got to count his fingers and his toes.
I've got another question for you.
Okay.
Less book related, possibly less mushroom related as well. You seem to have been a tattoo artist for a long time. It seems like.
Yeah, about 7 years. Yeah.
And are you like professionally, so like in a shop and things like that, doing tattoos? Or
I mean,
were you ever?
not anymore, but I was. Yeah.
Okay.
So I started in my apartment in Berlin. After basically, I was working with this Polish dude, and we went to his house after work. And we'd been drinking, we'd been smoking, and then he just like opens his backpack and starts pulling out like all this tattoo equipment, like some drugged up Willy Wonka, just like, here you go, like, and so he basically, like, our friend from the UK was like, oh man, I want a tattoo, like give me one. And he tattooed the top of his foot, which I'm like, that's stupid.
Ouch.
It's really not a fun place to tattoo or get tattooed, especially when you're not sober. And then he came to me and was just like, do you want a tattoo as well? And I was like, I'd actually prefer to just like try one on myself. Because at that point, like, I'd already had a long background in like art and illustration and design and stuff like that. So yeah, like I ended up tattooing this little evergreen tree on my wrist.
Nice.
And then we went back to work the next day, and a bunch of our coworkers were just like, oh, where'd you get that tattoo? And I was like, I did it myself. Ha ha ha. And from then on, like, me and my Polish friend, we basically started doing these like tattoo parties where we just hang out with a bunch of friends and coworkers after work. He'd do like 3 or 4 tattoos. I do 3 or 4 tattoos, and people basically just paid for the materials. And so we did that for like a month or 2. And then he sold me his equipment and got new equipment. And I started doing tattoos out of my bedroom. And that evolved into me doing like an apprenticeship at one of the biggest tattoo studios in Berlin, and then eventually working at a tattoo studio in Berlin, and then doing like moving to Ecuador and having a private studio here, and then also doing like guest spots and stuff like that. So I would go back home to Vancouver and I would do guest spots at the local tattoo shops there. Or I'd go on like a tattoo tour, and I would tattoo in New York and then Toronto and Montreal.
Good
and that
grief.
kind of thing. And so, and then eventually in Quito, like I opened my own tattoo studio and basically just like kept doing that until the pandemic. And when like the lockdown started and everything like that, like I had to shut down my tattoo studio, and then eventually like kind of transitioned out of tattoos and realized like, yeah, we're stuck at home, so I got to figure out something to do. And that's actually what led me to starting to review for Fanfi Addict, and then starting SFF Addicts, and starting to take writing more seriously.
Guys, Adrian's pretty cool. I didn't realize how cool he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else feeling inadequate?
I'm feeling like, is it time for the special Adrian tattoo reveal, or should we hold on to that for later?
Wait, did you all get like a tattoo of my face? Like a matching tattoo?
Well, actually, yeah, it's just
Yeah. I saw his hands. His hands are real, but his ass might be AI generated. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, that's definitely AI generated. Yeah,
Still need some proof there, Charlie. We can wait till the recording stops.
Show us the proof.
No, I did do my own professional research a few years ago, and you can actually still go on Adrian's website and purchase tattoo designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom bought a
Yeah.
he bought a design for me, and then
Oh,
show you.
you showed us.
and then got a
Yeah,
tattoo.
yeah.
Tattooed. Yeah.
Okay.
Little samurai cat.
That's
I
right.
Nice.
wonder where that was
There you go.
going. Very good.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
feel left out. Adrian, if I ever see you at a con, do you bring your stuff with you?
Depends on which country it is.
I gotcha. For sure.
Yeah. So like I did not bring anything to the United States because I was very much not interested in getting stopped at the border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a high stakes trip. Yeah.
Exactly. So like we'll see. Like eventually I might start doing it again. I brought my stuff to Glasgow. I tattooed Crystal. I tattooed Taylor from Made Between the Pages and Page Chewing. I tattooed who else? Con Wong, and damn it, who else did I tattoo? Oh, I tattooed my audiobook narrator when I was in London. That was really fun. We met up for brunch and then hung out for a couple hours, and I tattooed her. So yeah.
You didn't get to do one on Sanderson or Martin.
Did you really suggest Sanderson? Do you think he's gonna get a tattoo? He's not gonna befoul his skin like that. His body.
No, his pure skin.
I thought you were going to say just actually when he takes his shirt off, he's got a full.
He's like full body suit, dude.
Yakuza style. That'd be nice.
Oh my God.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. I mean, George, who knows, man? George would probably be like, you know, I could imagine George being like, yeah, fuck it. You know?
Yeah.
George is the kind of guy, he'd start a tattoo project and he just wouldn't finish it.
Brutal.
Oh, dude.
We trust that he won't be watching this episode, Adrian.
Sorry, George. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's another one off our list. So.
Yeah. Or I could just tattoo one on George that's just like fuck the haters. Or like, all, like across his back in like big block letters.
Yeah.
I think you go all in.
Adrian, what is the strangest body part you've ever tattooed someone? Bonus question: what is the strangest place you've ever tattooed somebody in public?
In public, I mean, like,
or not?
What counts as public though?
Oh, people who don't know you, able to observe. Well, I guess that would include
yeah. But I spent like a lot of my tattoo career like working in apartments and private studios.
Right.
I mean, like the weirdest body part that I was asked to tattoo was like someone's pubic mound, which I was like, it was mostly like, it was like a combination of like, she was kind of creepy and the design that she wanted was like not something I was interested in doing. That could have been the weirdest place I've ever tattooed. I also just really fucking hate tattooing people's feet.
Why?
Man, because this is like feet hygiene is a really inconsistent thing. And
true. I don't like
and
people's feet.
And it's like it's so bony. Like the bottom of the foot is okay because it's like very
Mhm.
fleshy, but like you know, if someone was like, I want like the top of my foot tattooed or blah blah blah, and like, it's gonna look like ass because this is like pure bone and it's going to heal terribly. It's gonna hurt like hell. There's just like so many different factors. But yeah, like I mean, like in public, I don't know, like living in Berlin, like nobody gives a shit about anything in terms of
nudity.
Public, not necessarily just nudity, but like comfort levels in public spaces. Like there are so many different like beaches and lakes around Berlin where people just like go swim nude, and it's just a thing. Like nobody cares. And so it's like I have tattooed people at like studios in Berlin where it's like, yeah, they're just like they want to get a tattoo like in their chest or something like that, and it's a woman and she's just like doesn't give a shit and she just takes her shirt off, kind of thing. And people just don't really have qualms about that.
Yeah.
Whereas in North America, it's much more conservative, kind of like prudish, and so there's much more like protocol there, if that makes sense. So
yeah. This is also a tattoo question, sort of adjacent. Who's your favorite Adventure Time character and why is it Lemon Grab?
Dude, Lemon Grab's the best. I fucking love Lemon Grab.
He's the funniest for sure.
He is the funniest. No, it's because like I watched Adventure Time for the first time when I was living in Berlin, and my girlfriend at the time and my roommate, we were all just like really, really into it and like watched it together. And whenever like things happened in the apartment that was just like unacceptable, then we would just we would just like yell that to each other from across the apartment.
Sorry, fellas, I don't know if y'all watch Adventure Time or not. That's a quirky.
It's a great show.
It was one of those shows that my kids started watching, and I thought, this is actually, I don't mind having this on. This is actually
very cool.
It's quite amusing. Yeah. I was like, and then I remember telling my brother who's quite. I said, "You're not going to believe that. Like, this is a kids program." The guys making must have had a lot of fun because they're just
a lot of D&D stuff going on, a lot of adventure.
But yeah, Adventure Time's a good time. And
I think they need a sort of Adventure Time after dark. That'd be quite good.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I've had the pleasure of tattooing a few Lemon Grabs in my day.
Oh, so. I saw a handful. That gave me that inspired that question. Yeah,
there's one friend who I worked with in Vancouver who's from New Zealand, and he was basically we met during a guest spot in Brooklyn, and then it turns out he also lived in Vancouver, and so I was like, fuck man, like next time I'm in Vancouver, I'm gonna go see you, and we'll do a tattoo swap. And so he got this like giant lemon grab on his upper arm, like kind of like in that like flat part of the shoulder. And then I got like this, because he did this like really cool like topographical stuff. So he basically created this like topographical kind of like layout of Ecuador, where it was like one side is jungle, in the middle is like a volcano and mountains, and then it goes down onto the coast with like the stratigraphy of like the layers of the earth and everything like that, and then the ocean on one side. So he did that one for me on my chest, and then I did the lemon grab on his shoulder.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a
tattoo swap. Right. Topographical Ecuadorial landscape, and then lemon grab.
And then lemon grab.
I mean, dude, I just like had my flash book with me, and I was like, what do you want? And he was like, I want that one. And so I was like, I'm very happy to do that one, because that's one I've wanted to do for a long time. So
was he familiar? He knew who lemon grab was?
100%. Yeah. Like he lingered on
that'd be
the
more
Adventure
random
Time
if
thing.
you didn't.
Yeah. So no, he was totally into Adventure Time, and very purposefully chose that particular.
I think that might be the one I get you to do. If I meet you and you got your kit and there's time and so on and so on, and the planets align, that might be the one.
Let's do it, man.
I'm
like an unacceptably awesome lemon grab.
I was just going to throw a question out to the whole panel, tattoo related. Like, if you could get that one sci-fi fantasy fandom tattoo that you've been putting off, what would it be and why?
I have an immediate answer.
Go for
it. There's a whole thing. So this started off typical North American white guy as a cross.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it became a more enhanced cross that is Simon Belmont's Vampire Slayer. I want a chain going from it around my back. I want sort of a evil dark bat wing on one shoulder and an angel wing on the other. So we got a little bit of Vampire Slayer. We got a little one-winged angel. Castlevania and Final Fantasy being huge inspirations, influences on me. and probably that so far. And it would cover up this. One of my first tattoos is.
But what would it connect to on the other side, like on your right arm? What
On
would
this,
it connect to?
I don't know. I sometimes like it when people are like totally sleeved on one half and then clean on the other. This arm has nothing. This one, and then my chest up here is kind of, you can't see it, but like, so my left half might be tattooed and my right, not half, but I don't know. Beyond the wings, I don't know.
Yeah. See, you've done the thing. Like, this is the tattoo arm. This is clean. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm the same thing too, but like I have so many tattoos on this one, but that's because I'm right-handed and I like did a bunch on myself. But then this arm, it's like I have my Japanese sleeve that I want to continue and just have like a full Japanese sleeve, but not necessarily like a continuous piece. It would more be like interconnected Japanese style pieces. But I don't know, man, because it's like I already did the sci-fi fantasy one that I really wanted, which was Dune. And it's like it's on my leg, and so I tattooed it on myself. It's basically like the planet of Arrakis, and then in front of it is like Muad'Dib, like the mouse from Arrakis. And so it's like that's one that I wanted to do for a long time, and I was like, well, I can just do it myself now, and so I did it.
Too cool.
Yeah.
I was worried you were going to say an inappropriate sandworm somewhere, but
that can go on Charlie's AI ass.
I do know a guy regarding your answer to my previous question. I do know a guy with his pubic mound. He's got the head of a bull tattooed right above his area.
Yeah. Regardless of like how you do with like whatever sex you want to attract, I don't think many people could be like, I'm in after like you pull down your pants and that's what you got.
Yeah, how many deals? Yeah, it's not sealing too many deals. I think.
Yeah, on either end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
like, I don't know who you're going for there.
He's a huge jacked dude, so I guess he makes it work or attracts a certain type. We'll
I think it's probably a very certain type.
DB, what's your sci-fi fantasy tattoo that you've yet to get?
So I've got quite a bit of tentacle stuff going on, and I think it would have to be a Lovecraft based, just more tentacles, just maybe like get wrapped in tentacles. That would be the dream. I've got a lot of brown tentacles, and as you'll know, Adrian, brown fades pretty easy.
Oh yeah,
but it ends up with this kind of like a natural feeling, like hopefully that it looks like it was always meant to be there, but it's kind of faded.
It ends up looking like pretty tan. You know?
like
just your tattoo went to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would just enhance the tentacles. Yeah, get wrapped up everywhere.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right, Charlie.
Ooh.
What's going on the AI app?
The AI app, yeah. There's a phrase I wasn't expecting to hear today. I don't know. I think when you mentioned that, I think going down to that Japanese thing, like, I read something from Baptiste of Undead Samurai or something like, that. That's pretty cool. I think, Lucky. I'd be lucky to see some of his cover art for his Warlords book that will come out, I think, either later this year or maybe next year. I can't remember exactly when.
Dude, he would be so happy if he heard that.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Up.
Like the artwork.
I can just imagine you getting like a zombie hand with like basically just like falling off at the wrist and just like holding a samurai sword, like going up your calf or something like that.
I think that'd be cool because the elements of that Japanese, which is just very cool art.
Yeah.
Full stop. And everything from that sort of 16th century Japan, and look into that. So something like that. I think where on the body, I don't know. That'd have to think about apart from the AI, which would be a bit cheap, a bit dodgy. Yeah.
Just get it on your cheek, Or you could like tattoo a beard on your face.
Yeah.
That would be a lovely answer. Yeah.
Like I have friends who do micro needling, so they can do some pretty realistic hair.
Yeah.
So
listen, one day I might get some fuller eyebrows tattooed on, not to go full.
David, your eyebrows are looking a little thin, man.
That's because I plucked them so religiously back in the day. It's not true.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're more of a waxing guy. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yanked him out with my hands.
With like a fucking pliers or something. Just
Actual metal pliers.
yeah.
I think if it ever comes up, you can have a 40 in your eyebrow plucking skill in the Beardsmen RPG.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one for free.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Write it down. Write it down.
40.
Pluck some beast from the abyss to death.
There you go.
Very small beast.
I mean, he is a musician, so he knows how to pluck.
This is true.
This is true. Yeah.
Very good.
Well, speaking of musicians, speaking of side job hustles, this is a terrible segue. You're a host and a writer and a chef and a tattoo artist and definitely more things. Do you have a regular routine, and do you mind sharing it as far as how you know? Oh, also, you regularly review shows, movies. Shows that you're watching, movies that you're playing, probably games.
I mean, I don't really like review them. I just kind of like post and just like give some ratings and shit.
It's more than I do. It's and it might be like 30 seconds of your time for all I know, but you do ingest these, shows and movies. Do you have a routine?
Yes. I mean, I have 2 young sons, and so I'm forced to wake up at like 6 a.m. every day.
I'm with you.
So it's like mornings is usually just get everyone ready, breakfast, dressed, brush teeth, all that stuff. I'm sure you could find like a kid's song about like all the stuff that is involved in a morning routine of getting a kid ready for school. And once my oldest son is off to school, then me and my youngest are just at home chilling. And yeah, usually like the mornings from like, 8:30 a.m. until noon is I'll like answer emails and do that kind of stuff. I will usually that's when I'll do like design work.
Oh, right.
Design
work for hire. I forgot about that. Yep.
So that's just a time where like I feel a little bit more kind of in the zone for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'll do like cover design or interior design and that kind of stuff. Usually I'll work out in the morning, and my son usually just like plays around me while I work out, and then we'll have our time together and we'll hang out. And then around noon I'll start cooking. He'll just be like hanging around the kitchen with me, and like my oldest gets home from school around like 1:30, and then we'll have lunch. And then the afternoon is like more family time and that kind of thing. And then the evenings is when I'll edit the podcast. I'll do writing, things along those lines. And usually I watch stuff when I'm washing the dishes. So straight up, like I would say like 70% of the things that I watch are
standing
up and washing dishes. Yeah.
I can't sit down and watch these days. I just have fallen out of it. If I sit down to watch a show or a movie, I will fall asleep.
Yeah.
I just constantly, it takes about 5 attempts to watch something, because I'm the same thing. I sit down and go, I'll put this on, I'll watch this for bed. And
Not complaining though. I love a nap. I love a nap.
I mean, usually like what I'll do is I'll read before I go to bed. That's like my reading time, more or less. Or like while I'm eating breakfast as well. But yeah, like that's for the most part what it's like. And I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, everything is incremental. And so I'm not kind of stressed out about like, I need to finish this today and blah, blah, blah. Cause that was kind of like my downfall earlier on in my writing attempts. And Mushroom Blues kind of kicked me in the ass and made me realize like, you've got babies and toddlers, like good fucking luck. And so I learned to be really satisfied with being able to accomplish something in like 15 minutes or
that's valuable.
5 minutes or whatever. So
especially with young kids, that's valuable. That's good to have.
Because they have no, like they don't give a shit about what I'm doing or when, it'll be like, like I have to go poo, like I want to play with you, like, oh, your brother, like my brother hit me, or something is going on that is far more important than whatever I'm doing. Therefore I have to be okay with. That's why writing is kind of like a nighttime thing for me, because at nighttime I am more liberated, let's say, from like the responsibilities, and then I'm able to dedicate like an hour or 2 hours to writing and doing that kind of thing. Or like the podcast too. Like the podcast is much easier for me to focus and be like, I'm going to edit for like the next hour and get that out of the way. And I've been able to kind of like keep up that routine pretty well. And yeah, like podcast episodes release every Tuesday. Like, you know, my life's not falling apart. So it's working out pretty well so far.
It feels more frequent than that just because of all the shorts that I see and all the, you know.
Yeah, but that's literally like I'll edit on Fridays. That's my editing day. I'll edit the audio and video, and then Saturday I'll put together 3 clips, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
It makes it sound so simple.
Doesn't
it's
it?
because I have templates for everything, dude. Like everything. I'm gonna grab my laptop charger. I'll just be like, 5 seconds. It's literally like,
That is the key. Like kids fall asleep. That's when the productivity happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right. I could there are things that I can handle while they're making noise and while they're out and about and you know, and I'm giving my screen maybe 75% of my attention. Writing is just not one. When they're away at school or when they're or when mom has them, even if they're downstairs and I can hear them, I'm still only 85 to 90% able to focus on something. I don't know if I just need utter emptiness in order to, you know, tap into that creative whatever.
dude, I'm the same way.
That's where it's the best.
Yeah.
Or if they're 100% quiet, then you're more worried because something's going on.
Yeah, when the kids are here and there's no noise, either they've run outside and God knows where they've gone, or you know,
or they're up to something which needs investigating.
Yeah.
When my kids are quiet, I'm just like, yo, what are you doing? And I find out like my son's been like digging a hole for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's not too bad.
That's one of the better things.
Yeah. It's like, at least you're productive. You're using your hands. That's fine.
Yeah. Thankfully, mine are all older now, so that's I don't have much excuse.
So if yours are outside digging a hole, it's probably for a corpse or something, right?
Yeah. That's it. Well, 2 at university. So
I mean, dude, I did like the copy of Mushroom Blues that I grew mushrooms on.
Oh, yeah.
We had a funeral for it and buried it in our backyard. So maybe one day those boys will dig it up.
Some archaeologists can be very confused.
It's still there. Yeah. It's like under the ground, rotting. Yeah.
Did you eat the mushrooms off of it?
I did. Yeah, I cooked it with some steak.
That's awesome.
My son was like, my oldest was super into it because it would be like every day. It was usually around like 2 or 3 times a day. We'd go with like a spray bottle of water, and we'd go like humidify it's called a fruiting chamber, which sounds kind of serial killerish. But it's basically just a plastic box with holes in it. So we would go in there and we would spray water in there, and he would get really into it. He'd be like, "Daddy, the mushrooms are dry." And so we'd go back and like spray it.
I think it'd only be serial killer if you said you had it with a steak and went
Lava beans.
There you go, Charlie. I should have gotten your advice before I ate that.
No, that's all good. This is where my brain went, but it was.
But yeah, man, it's like the balance thing is kind of tricky because I think it's like a constant work in progress, and like even if you have kids and they're getting older, there's no point where it's like completely stable, and there's always going to be something that brings new challenges. And so I've learned to kind of like roll with the punches. And this year it's kind of a situation where I technically didn't publish anything new, but at the same time, I'm like, why the fuck am I being so hard on myself? You know, like I don't have to beat myself up for the fact that I didn't publish a new book in 2025, which is kind of like the pressure that self-publishing puts on a lot of authors of like,
yes,
you know, I'm not Andy Peliquin. Like, who am I? I'm not going to be like pumping out like 2-3 books a year. And I know that, and it's totally fine. And at the same time, it's like SFF Addicts grew bigger than it ever has. I started a freelance book design business. You know, like working on a novella now and wrapping that up, working on an anthology for Fanfi Addict, and collaborating with a friend on like a Fungal Verse tie-in graphic novel. And
awesome.
At the same time, like outlining book 2. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, it's not like I'm just stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
the
also-
anthology
Don't have to
product.
compare. Oh, did I disconnect for a
the
second?
anthology for Fanfare Addict alone is pretty wild. So that's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
going to come out this year anyway, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty confident that we'll be launching a Kickstarter soon, and like we've got all the assets ready for it, and talking with Merrick Books on Monday, and basically mapping out like our Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign. And so, yeah, like I don't have to be so hard on myself for feeling like just because I didn't publish something doesn't mean I didn't do anything. And I think it's really easy for creative people to kind of dig themselves into a hole of sort of dissatisfaction and guilt and like, you know, depreciating self-esteem and whatever else for the fact that it's like, oh, I didn't publicly put out anything. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you're not a full-time author, you know, like you may be working a full-time job, you may be a parent, you may be whatever else that gets in the way of life, and you're doing the writing for the love of it.
Yeah.
So don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah.
This is
And the worst
every
thing you
writer
can do-
here. We're not trend. None of us, I don't think, are trend chasers. That is, as little as I know about the, you know, mushroom genre of books, I don't think any of us are chasing, you know, any particular trend. So therefore, I just don't see, I don't know, spitting out books like this being an asset. I feel like things that I'd rather about something that withstands the test of time, you know.
Yeah, because I don't
accomplish that.
Yeah, like I don't want to, you know, be pumping out books but regretting the quality of it, of like the end product and everything. You know, like I want to be able to put in the time to make the story as good as possible, like make the design as good as possible, make the cover as good as possible, like deliver people a really, really cool package, and be very satisfied about like, this is the thing that I put out into the world, as opposed to like self-publishing market forces dictate that I should be releasing, or like even like like the Amazon algorithm, you know. Oh, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like deprioritizing me and my book and my profile and whatever, and I'm like, well, yeah, I don't give a shit about Amazon's algorithm, because like Amazon's algorithm isn't the reason that I'm doing this thing.
No, that's true.
Amazon's algorithm's got its own agenda, not it's one to support you, is it, at the end of the day?
And it changes. It's not stable anyway.
But people also forget, you know, there's some authors that have been writing for 10, 15 years that have 5 books ready, you know, or read all a thing. And so, you know, it looks like they're pumping one out every year, but they might have been writing for 15 years prior. To, like, some authors prefer to do the whole series and then release them accordingly. So, you know, that can create a false narrative of, oh, you know, they're just sitting there writing, you know. And I, as a reader, I think I'd much rather an author was happy that they put out the best product that they could, or the best story that they could, rather than just to satisfy, you know, demand or whatever it might be. But I appreciate the pressure to do that is probably quite immense. So
yeah. And it's like that's why I'm really happy that I've been able to talk to so many different authors about this kind of thing. And like we chatted with Joe Abercrombie earlier this year, and he was like, yeah, man, like when I went full time as an author, I can't remember which book exactly he became a full-time author. I think it was like towards the end of the first Law trilogy. He was like, yeah, I became a full-time author and I didn't do shit for a year.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've heard that too. Least productive year.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, just because I'm now full-time as whatever I'm doing, like whatever my job is now, doesn't mean that I'm like, okay, yeah, now it's my full-time job, and therefore like I'm going to spend 12 hours a day doing this thing. It's like, no, the human brain does not function that way. Every individual is different. And some people are more productive when they have outside pressures that are kind of forcing them to prioritize certain things over others. So it's like, if you have 12 hours in a day as a full-time author, you could probably justify being like, yeah, fucking, I'm going to like play video games for 4 hours, you know? And if you're like a full-time parent and like working a full-time job while also writing, you'd be like, I only have like 1 or 2 hours to write in the day and I have to do it. And then you're going to fill all of those gaps in your day with the things that really fulfill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're full-time at that kind of thing, you can justify wasting time just as easily.
True. When I my first book I ever wrote was almost entirely on the clock at the job where I was PM tech support at a college. I was the just in case guy, only there in case a classroom failed and something in a classroom failed for the evening students.
Yep.
And so 80+% of my time I was holding a chair down. And
Nice.
so now I could have been pursuing more IT things like following, getting better at networking or servers or security or anything else. A lot of the folks in the IT department did that. It never grabbed me. None of that stuff was ever a passion. And so what I spent my free time doing, especially if I was feeling particularly annoyed at my job, that was the best motivation to to work on the book. Like, I hope to get out of here someday.
Yeah, man, I can't like the amount of time I spent, the amount of Mushroom Blues that I wrote while like literally just on my phone while my baby was like asleep on my shoulder. Is his nap time was my writing time.
Nice.
And he'd be like asleep here and I would just be like jotting down like, in a Google Doc, like on my phone, just typing that shit up. And then in the evening I would take all that and look it up on my computer and then drag it into my draft doc and just clean it up and work it in there, and sometimes it would even be like, yeah, I'm just literally like, this is just a dialogue exchange and I'm just throwing that into my phone,
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
Everyone's got different situations and like if you're really passionate about this thing, you'll find time for it. And if you go full time with it, like don't expect it to just be like a clean, I'm going to be able to write like the entire day and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, you'll come up against so many hurdles just as much as someone who has no time. So
that reminds Andy Peliquin's, his routine sort of inspired me to try to have 2 writing sessions a day. I've not pulled it off yet. I blame the ages and the busyness of my kids right now. But he's got like a 4-hour span at one point, and then later in the day he has yet another chunk where he can write. But you made me think of Brandon Sanderson. Are you familiar with his routine? He's got
dude, I am familiar. I had to schedule a WorldCon panel around his
oh, there we go again. Inside scoop.
Be like, okay, we can't do it on this day. We can't do it on this day. We have to make sure that it's after 12 p.m.
Because that's when he wakes up, right?
Yeah. So it was like we had quite a time figuring out how to schedule around Brandon and George. Yeah.
You pulled it off. Speaking of, I don't know if you guys are aware, his podcast that he has with the author of the Murderer book, I forgot his name, Dan Wells. Anyway,
Dan Wells. Yeah.
If you ever watch his episodes, they're 20, 30, 40 minutes maybe, and he's signing books
the entire time,
signing nameplates for books, thousands. And not by himself. He has staff that brings him blank ones as he goes.
Oh, I know that staff now, and I have talked to them about like the machine that is his autographing conveyor belt. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'll go to Castle Brandon if you're in Dragonsteel. Will you, or does that take place? That's not in his.
No. It's at like a convention center in Salt Lake City. Yeah. But
it'd be awesome if you go to his compound though.
Yeah, man. That'd be cool. Like have lunch at Brandon's house. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Well,
I think the worst thing you can do, like with any creative outlet or project, is spread yourself too thin. Because if you half-ass something like your podcast, I think you're slowly working the sequel to Mushroom Blues at the same time. Like, you don't just want to ruin all of your projects by not doing them properly. And if you've only got X amount of time, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I've trained myself to wake up at 5:30 in the morning now. That usually gives me at least half an hour where I can just do something. It could be like the podcast prep. I do like the graphics for the panels. And it's only 30 minutes before I get, Daddy, Sometimes I'm lucky, and it's an hour.
It's a bit weird your wife wakes up that way, but
Yeah.
Not now, Mrs. Bookbeard. But I
She
think
wakes up so hangry.
Where are the eggs?
God damn it, I'm hungry. Yeah, DB said it in an interview a long time ago. Like, even if you get a couple of minutes down, it's just a couple of minutes more towards your end goal than you were at previously.
Yeah. And I've honestly found that, like, if I go to bed, like I used to be able to stay up so late, especially while I was living in Berlin. But now with kids, it's like I've been forced to kind of like conform to their schedule in a lot of ways. But I found that it's like, man, if I go to bed at like 10 as opposed to 10:30, and then like, yeah, like I wake up at 5:30, whatever, I still get a good amount of sleep, and I'm able to utilize that uber quiet time in the morning to really good effect. And even if it's just like mental preparation for the day, you know, where it's like the worst thing is like getting woken up by that like daddy kind of thing, that hangry wife. If you get woken up by that as opposed to like being already awake and then hearing that, it's kind of like, yeah, you're mentally set for like whatever the day has to throw at you.
This is my life struggle. I'm a night owl, and it's hard to get out of that.
Yeah, I mean, kids just like ruined it for me. So
yeah.
We got a coffee machine. So when I first wake up, my little routine: make a coffee for myself, have my coffee. I can do something creative. But I worked out the sound of my coffee machine preparing my morning coffee would wake people up, particularly my daughter. So now I just silently, stealthily put on like the mocha pot, which is near on silent until it bubbles, and then I'm in stealth mode. It worked.
Stealth daddy.
No one's cooked yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a
Like, what are you waking up at fucking 5:45 for? No, that's not right. Go back to bed. The stealth coffee.
Yeah, don't worry. You reach a tipping point when they'll become teenagers, and you'll get your morning back because they won't rise.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for that.
Then you start like worry about them coming home.
I was going to say, is that when you're sitting outside the club writing in your car?
Yeah. Well, when my oldest daughter first was there, she would go out, and I was like a bit paranoid, so I did do a lot of picking her up at 2:00 in the morning, and initially, and then I went, nah, this is going to stop. Like, you know, so she gets Uber now. But yeah, there's a lot of waiting outside. I'm here. I'll just be a minute. Like 20 minutes later. Come on.
I got a 14-year-old, and I feel like I am legit just transportation sometimes. I know he can hear me. He's probably right.
Yeah.
Out here.
Yeah. Well,
and he's like, damn right you are.
My youngest is 15, so just turned 15, so the same age basically. And she's at that stage where they can't get themselves everywhere. The older two can, generally get themselves places. Or
you'll miss them when they're gone. I'll tell you that too. My oldest is 25.
I don't think they're going anywhere, to be honest. So I don't think I'll be leaving anytime soon.
Your AI house has no doors.
They're
stuck in like a constantly evolving AI house.
Yeah. Some liminal space.
Yeah, I show you.
They try to leave, and it becomes another hallway.
Yeah, I'd show you the rest, but we haven't rendered it yet. So
yeah, it's rendering in the background. Yeah.
Adrian, part of my research that I value for some reason, I may be the only one, is looking at people's Goodreads and seeing how they rank books.
Yeah.
Especially how they rank books that I've, compared to books that I've read. You and I gave 5 stars to Fight Club, 7.5 Deaths, Arm of the Sphinx, Children of Time, Kings of the Wild. Now mine was because I loved it. You might have been obligated. I know you're good buddies with Nick.
No. Like legit. Like I read like
I'm literally reading it right now.
Children of Time. I love that book. Shout out to Tchaikovsky.
I love Jumping Spiders now because of that book. I am obsessed with them because of that book.
Yeah.
And Spiders.
But no, like legit, like I read Kings of the Wild before it got published, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. So
Dude, that was one of the first books, and I read a lot of what I'd call funny books, where I would be just sitting there. We were on holiday. We were in Orlando, Florida, and I just remember I'd bust out laughing now and then. Reading the book, I just bust, and it gave me the freedom to, it's like, oh, you can be funny. You can be funny in a fantasy book.
And dude, you know what? Like reading that book was like, it was like nostalgia of having drinks with Nick after work back in Vancouver. And it'd be like his humor in real life tracks so perfectly into Kings of the Wild. And so I was like, yeah, man, like I'd chuckle my ass off while I was reading that book, and Bloody Rose too. But at the same time, like I know how like emotionally like kind of emotionally nuanced Nicholas is, that he was able to like get me to cry and like laugh my ass off in the same book.
There were awesome moments of both spectrums, and I appreciate, as a musician who's getting older and who's not touring like I once did, or not, going around to shows. You hear all these old folks like, look at all these young fucks. They're not even fighting their own fights. They're not even, they're not even writing their own shit. It hit home so good, and the little shout outs to artists and stuff. Yeah, it was perfect for me. The Hod King, also 5 stars. I'm with you on that.
Like straight up, like I love Josiah Bancroft.
So I know. I wanted to talk about it. We won't go spoilerish. I'd love to, but you gave the last.
Oh, I love that series.
You like the conclusion as well, because the conclusion is divisive.
I
did too. I'm one of the. I thought I was the only one.
It was trippy and weird as hell, and the fact that I was like, this is what I love about doing what we do is like, I read that book. I read Senlin Ascends before I knew Josiah, and then got to know him afterwards. And the fact that I can finish that book and email Josiah and just be like, what the fuck? It's like my favorite thing, that I could just be like, yo, man, this book, like, what the hell? I did not see that coming.
I love doing that with Indios. Like, I've been lucky enough to get a few people now like reading something. I was reading an anthology recently. I was just mentioning, one of the guys said, what the, like, oh yes, more of this. Like, having that that connection is awesome.
Adrian, you also loved Jade City. I love that trilogy.
Dude,
is it trilogy or is there 4? There's only 3,
trilogy. Right? There's only 3. Yeah. There's like a side novella and then like a short story.
And you rated that one, and it came on my TBR. It was already there, but
Jade Setter of Janloon is fantastic. Yeah.
Rage of Dragons, 5 stars. I agree. Yeah. And I observe, and you've again, I'm not going to go into every single person that is awesome that you've interviewed, but you have interviewed Evan Winter.
Yeah, he was on a panel that we did on dragons back in it was like episode 16 or something, I think.
He's got good dragons.
Yeah.
I was about to say, do you know what he's doing as far as book 3? But I'm not going to be that guy, because I saw that he's catching shit.
He's working on it. Yeah.
That's good. That's as much as we can ask for. Gutter Prayer, you loved.
Shout out to Gareth Hanrahan. Great guy.
You've interviewed him as well, which is awesome. God, Gutter Prayer, that was bananas. That's crazy stuff.
Dude, I hung out with him in Glasgow, and I was like, it was like one of the last days, and I was just burnt out and dead. And then Gareth sees me at the bar, and he's like, Adrian, but he has an amazing Irish accent. And it was really, really nice to chat with him and catch up and everything. And then we asked a friend to take a picture, and I look at that picture and I'm like, I look like shit.
I may have seen the picture, and I don't, if I did, I didn't think you looked like shit.
But yeah, Gareth is a really fun guy.
Fun guy. I hear you. We both gave Stephen King's On Writing 4 stars. I don't remember why. It's been a long time since I read it. Probably because
I would say that's it's just a 5-star system, so I'd say it's like a 3.75.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Neuromancer, you gave 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars, but I think I read the audiobook or listened to it, and he was one of those narrators. He gives women a voice like this. And,
really? Oh my god.
God, that ruined a lot of the book for me.
No, dude.
It's so terrible.
Oh.
I gave The Hobbit 5. You gave it 4. I'll forgive you. I gave The Blade itself 5 because that one's another one that was revolutionary to me.
Yeah.
I understand it has no plot, or that's one of its biggest complaints. Or some people complain about how the trilogy ended. I thought, how was it supposed to end? Happy? You've read the whole thing up till this point. You thought it was going to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you expected that, you hadn't been paying attention.
Exactly.
Yeah, it went over you. You gave Picture of Dorian Gray 4. I gave it a 2, which seems really rude of me. I don't remember
I
why.
read it like I'll say that I read Picture of Dorian Gray during my English Lit undergrad, and I had a really, really good professor who we had, like, our class had some really fascinating discussions
Cool.
about that book, which made me appreciate it so much more.
I think I would have. I feel like it got rambly. To me, it kind of got rambly. There's a lot of books that are older that to me feel like they go kind of, I don't want to say self-indulgent, but they get kind of.
Dude, I mean, do you know how fucking thick all of like Charles Dickens books are? Like,
oh yeah, yeah. Editors would murder those books.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to remember those books were serialized, so they were
exactly.
They weren't designed to be short. They were getting
and
paid
they were being paid by the word. Yep.
Yeah.
Paid by the,
Damn.
So
Nice.
it was serialized. So the more of that, the more circulation you got.
True. You and I both gave 4 stars to American Gods and The Last Wish, which is the first. I think it's the first Witcher book.
The Last Wish, I think, is like the short story collection that kicks off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rothfuss's books, you gave them both 4. I gave Name of the Wind 5 because that's another one that was so lyrical. That was a bit revolutionary to me, just how lyrical that. In fact, Name of the Wind, I can't give it any less than 5 because that's why I write. When I read that book, I was like, this seems so fun and easy to make every sentence multiple things. Little did I know how fun and easy it clearly is not. Because there's no end. Because there's no end to the trilogy. I'm not digging up dirt. I'm not slinging dirt. I'm just saying.
Damn it, Rothfuss.
Right. Both gave Wise Men's Fear 4, and mine is because that might be why I started writing. Because I was like, nothing's happening here. Nothing's happening in this damn book. Where the fuck? And when something finally does happen, it's breezed over. He's like, we took a ship, and there was a lot of turmoil and pirates and mutiny, but we got through it. And I'm like, you're just gonna breeze it. Finally, something happens. And we get
You're gonna write a book and basically be like, this is what happens during that period of time.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting. A little short story.
Yeah.
Let's not give him any ideas.
Fan fiction.
Anyway.
Oh, dude, I'm sure there's so much fan fiction for that. But it's cool though. Like, David, you're mentioning like how Rothfuss's book is kind of like what got you into writing. Like for me, it was reading Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. That didn't necessarily like get me into writing. Like it didn't get me into science fiction and fantasy. Like that happened way, way, way back. But Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer was the book that made me want to start taking writing more seriously and pursue it in a professional manner. And so that book just like completely changed things for me.
So you would recommend it?
Yeah. I mean, it's very divisive as well, but you know, like to each their own kind of thing. That was one of those books where it was like, I read it while I was living in Berlin, while I was like experimenting heavily with psychedelics and had started tattooing. And so it was like a very experimental time in my life, which was a perfect mood and ambiance for an experimental story such as Annihilation.
Yeah. My
This
dog's
is
going
true. Certain books have to strike at a certain time, and that kind of determines how you're going to rate them.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like reading Perdido Street Station by China Mieville was just like, holy shit. You know, like I don't even think like I've rated Perdido Street Station because I like read so many of those books before I even like started doing something like Goodreads. So there's so many books that I've read in the past where I'm like, man, I can't even like keep track of what I read and when, but there are certain books that like really, really stand out. And like I can kind of like trace back to like what Mushroom Blues is now and like what the Fungalverse stuff is and like my time in Berlin and all those things that I was experimenting with at that time.
I have an ignorant question. Berlin, Germany or Berlin, Canada?
There is no Berlin. I mean, maybe there's a Berlin, Canada, but Berlin, Germany.
Okay. Again, ignorant question.
Go look it up, man. Is there a Berlin, Canada? I'm sure there's a Berlin in the United States. That would make more sense.
New Berlin.
There are a lot of German people in the States.
There seems to be a lot of people say whatever, and then you realize they mean some random town in the States or something.
Yeah. Hey, I live 1 hour from Athens, as it turns out.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Very different Acropolis. But
it's very different. Charlie went and got his AI generated dog. The dog doesn't have to render; it's matte black, so there's no
Yeah.
features.
Well, no, she was barking, so you can say hi to everyone.
Aw. Hello.
Puppy.
There's not a Berlin. Actually, there was a Berlin in Ontario, but it changed its name to Kitchener.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I know Kitchener very well. I did not know it used to be called Berlin.
There we go.
Well, there you go. I was born in Ontario, so not far from Berlin. Yeah.
Formerly Berlin.
Maybe that's why you ended up in Berlin tattooing.
How coincidental.
How coincidental.
That's the universe. No, I was because I just realised when I was reading up on Mushroom Blues and some of the influences, and I know that District 9 was one that was noted there.
Dude,
which
I
I
love that movie so much.
Yeah.
which I had in my mind when I was reading it again, getting those elements, and I said that is one of my favorite movies. So it's like
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Mhm. Dude, like I'm just like, I wish like Neil Blomkamp was making more stuff, because it was kind of that was a very clear sort of, not necessarily like a one-hit wonder in the realm of films, but it was kind of like he chose just not to make more stuff and like do other things instead. And I was like, man, District 9 is so good. Like literally one of the best movies about xenophobia I've ever seen in my entire life. And I channeled so much of that into Mushroom Blues.
Yeah,
Cool.
and just to set that, and not no disrespect to our northern hemisphere friend, aliens don't always go to America, like
Right, exactly.
and having and I think obviously having it in South Africa, but my wife's South Africa, I've been kind of sort of they do make good baddies at times as well, but it could have been anywhere, I suppose, but it's sort of just it grounded it in my mind and made it a lot more real.
100%. Because I can't remember the name of like the other movie that he made about like about a robot that was Chappie. Yeah. And Chappie just like fell very short of like the sort of depth that that District 9 brought to the table. And it was like, I can't remember that. There's there's like this South African band called Die Antwoord. And when they showed up in the movie, I was like, what the fuck is this, man? It just became too goofy, whereas District 9 like always thread a very fine line between being very thematically strong and emotionally strong. Like the emotional through line in that movie is amazing and feels very believable and consistent. Whereas Chappie was just kind of like, all right, this feels like very, very goofy all of a sudden and feels tonally inconsistent. And here's like a South African band. Like, of course you had to hire them to play a part in this movie.
He did another film.
Jackson.
Did he direct
Go ahead,
Elysium with
What's
Matt
up?
Damon? Did he do Elysium with Matt Damon as well?
I think so. I think that was like, I think that may have been his last movie. So he did District 9, Chappie, and then Elysium. And Elysium was also kind of like, it was okay.
Okay.
But District 9, it was just like, damn, dude, you came out the gate swinging.
Yeah. That was my introduction to that actor too. And he's been in a lot of things now.
Yeah.
Sharlto
Interesting
Copley.
name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Crazy good actor. It was also my introduction to the word Duis, which I gather is South African for the C word. I'm not gonna.
YouTube is gonna like have like an aneurysm if you say that word.
Which then I was bartending at a golf club, and some South African guys came through, and because I had seen District 9, I recognized their accent, and they were saying that they were telling me Duis is super handy because when you swear while you're playing golf, you get penalized. But if you can, if they don't know you're swearing, you don't get penalized. So South African swears are just foreign words. They could yell that to their heart's content.
Well, to be fair, most words in Afrikaans sound like you're swearing. It's quite a language. But it a lot of fun, and enjoyed. But yeah, it's nice to understand that. Always, must be such a good book to understand. Your influences and what such and obviously with Fanfight we have sort of chat so we could see some of the stuff in the background, but it's so pleasing to see it do as well as it did and get
thanks, man.
so popular.
Yeah, because I was showing you guys stuff like all along the way. Be like, got the cover art and like all this kind of stuff.
So you felt like we'd sort of been on part of the journey
Yeah.
to the point that it came out. So we're very pleased to see it do well. Yeah.
Felix did the art, right?
Yeah. Felix
And-
Ortiz.
By the way, guys, I don't know if y'all know this. In 2022, Adrian interviewed Felix Ortiz, or among other authors. Or
I was talking to him about that the other day. We did a panel on cover art and design, and it was Felix, who's just amazing and just so much fun to work with. Like I love working with Felix.
He's awesome.
And so it was like Felix, it was Daniel Dachu, who's done he's primarily like a concept artist for video games and stuff like that, but he did the cover, he's done the covers for the Expanse series.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's Alyssa Winans, who's done some really, really amazing covers. So it's like all in all, it was like super cool to be able to pick their brains about that. But I was chatting with Felix because he just finished up the cover for book 2. And we had a call and he was just like, yeah, man, like it was nice to chat with you. Like, I can't remember if we've ever and I was like, dude, I had you on my fucking podcast and everything. And he was like, and then he messaged me later. He was like, went back and he was like, holy shit, I forgot we did that. And he was like, Daniel Dachu, like such a legend. He just, it was really nice to kind of like hear how excited he was to kind of relive that experience that we had. Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to hear about cover 2. So that's
well, I
So
can
we
show you.
done?
I can show you guys after we get off here.
Awesome.
sorry, people. That's it. Cut.
And that'll be a wrap.
Sorry to all of you. Yeah.
He's on. I don't know what the schedule is, but I hit him up recently again. I'm like, I need you for book 2. I'm making sure I'm on your calendar. I told a year ago is the last we spoke, and he's like, of course. He's like, when do you have a date? And I'm like, nope. I'm hoping 2026 for V&V2. And he said, sounds good.
Yeah, that was an awesome cover. But yeah, I'm not just saying that.
Love it. I do.
To be fair, because I did read it before I knew you, so
nice. So you weren't biased. I just
we hadn't
the colors of it.
Shout out to Felix.
Shout out to
the goat,
Felix,
man.
boys.
Yeah.
Sure.
But no, it's like after finishing up book 2 cover, I was like, okay, when can I book you next? And he was like, February 2027. I was like, sure. At this point, I'm just kind of like going with the flow of everything.
You're writing to the covers.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like usually what I'm doing is kind of like I'm getting the covers and then getting them around like 6 to 9 months before publication is kind of like
Nice.
where I'm at, because then that gives me time to actually like doing the covers really sets the tone for everything. Like puts me in the mindset of like the book, and I'm a very visually oriented person, and so it's like I know what's happening in the story and I know how I want the cover to look, and Felix is just really, really good at taking my notes and like my sketches and stuff like that and then executing upon that. And so it's like, yeah, like seeing the cover for book 2, I'm already like, okay, yeah, like this fits the entire vibe of this story, and I'm so happy about it.
I'm stoked. We're gonna see some premiere stuff.
Yeah.
I absolutely won't be taking pictures like this while it's happening.
Dude, I can see your phone.
I know.
Yeah.
Look, it's over here. It's right here.
Yeah. It's just real sneaky, David. You're like Tom in the morning making coffee.
That's what mine is Keurig, so it spouts and screams like it's dying.
Oh no, yeah. Actually, I'm lucky. My kids were asleep. I just went. I'm getting. If I'm up at 6.
Oh yeah, coffee's happening, or else before I say a word, probably. Honestly,
Yeah.
Terrible waking up.
Definitely. All good.
No, I feel like we should close out on just talking briefly about, you are the father of fungal punk.
That's Fraser Armitage's moniker.
I dig it.
Yeah.
What happens when you hang out with
I
Fraser?
think it's good.
Yeah.
I just think I know you were influenced by Annihilation, but when you set out to write Mushroom Blues, I mean, did you ever envisage it would turn into like the book you would grow mushrooms out of? This sort of film noir, like, mushroom sort of detective story. Like, how did it come about?
Dude, I like so much of it was a surprise, to be honest. Because I mean, it started out because I finished like the first draft of my first book, and that was such an arduous process that I was like, I need to take a break from it. And then I had written an outline for a novella while I was drafting, and took that novella and realized that I had no fucking idea how to outline, and then turned 14 chapters into like 40 and changed the main character from a man to a woman, and that became Henrietta Hoffman. And I just like tore through that book. Like I drafted, revised it, and edited it in like less than a year. And before, like, even though I was like so set on the first book I wrote being the one that I was going to publish, it ended up being the prequel novella that I ended up like turning into a full novel and then publishing. So like the whole process was just like a surprise along the way. And it was really cool, just like the things that I was able to like the small successes that I was able to kind of like bask in along the way, where it was like, okay, like the art that Felix gave me is incredible, and the design that I was able to do for the book, like I'm super happy with it. Like the interior layout of the book and all that, and the way the book is presented, like I'm super happy with it. The fact that I was able to collaborate with my two buddies over in Sweden to make like a full soundtrack for the book, and like the book tour that I was able to put together, and all this kind of stuff. And then just kind of like looking back, I'm like, as far as indie debuts go, I'm like, holy shit, I am super proud of this book, you know? Like I almost didn't sign up for SPFBO because I didn't think my book was fantasy enough, and then ended up getting like second place in SPFBO,
awesome.
whereas SPSFC didn't think my book was sci-fi enough. So I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I am on this stupid spectrum. This genre thing is so nebulous, you know what I mean? But it's really cool to be able to look back and think like, okay, not just because of the podcast, not just because of like the people that I've met and the friends I've made in the community, but like the book that I put out, I'm super proud of what I was able to achieve with it. Mm-hmm. Whether someone hates it or loves it, like that's totally fine. I'm just really grateful that the book has had the success that it's had, and that it's been received the way it's been received.
Yeah. And like, even I remember the launch, like you did everything exactly the way that you wanted to, you know, like you said earlier, like fuck the Amazon algorithm. Like I think the refreshing thing is, and I say this with the greatest respect, like there's so many people trying to copy like the Ryan Carhill model of indie publishing, whereas I feel like we need more guys like you just saying, do you know what, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I do it because I love my book and I want to share it with you guys. It's just great to see. And
and like I respect Ryan so much, and it's because like that dude has a very, very clear set work ethic when it comes to anything that he's doing, really. And so he's just applied that to publishing and writing, and was able to do like a really consistent novel novella kind of release schedule. And it has led to a lot of success for Ryan, and nobody else can replicate that. And the difficult thing in publishing is like, we're all looking for sources of inspiration and examples that we can follow. But regardless of who is successful and who's not, you're never going to be able to perfectly replicate the people who had success. And it's like chasing trends when you're trying to write, or like writing to market. By the time you think you're ready to replicate someone who's been successful, the entire marketplace has shifted in such a way where it's no longer possible to find a viable path to success doing exactly that. And so it's like, I love Ryan and I'm so happy for him. At the same time, I totally agree with you that too many people are looking for a catch-all sort of model to follow, when in reality it's kind of like, what do you bring to the table? Like, who are you? What is your book? And how are you able to utilize your skills and your uniqueness to be able to make your book, your marketing, whatever it may be, more interesting, more eye-catching, and therefore translate into more readers and more sales and all that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, like my book is about mushrooms, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna grow mushrooms on my book. Like, it was just a kind of no-brainer type scenario. But like, I go to Worldcon and multiple people are like, hey man, like I saw you grow mushrooms on your book, that was super cool. And then that became like a conversation starter, because they'd never seen anything like that before. Even though for me, it's like I had seen other people grow mushrooms on book. I just wanted to try it for myself, right? So it's like, I'm not the first person to do it, but within the self-publishing space, it's like, man, and no offense to anyone who out there who's like a professional marketer, like MJ, my co-host, my best friend, is a marketer in her full-time day job. I find a lot of book tours, I find a lot of marketing methodologies to be really basic and really cookie cutter and really boring, and therefore quite unsuccessful. And so it's like, you don't necessarily need to hire someone who's going to give you a model of a marketing plan and a book tour and whatever, when in reality, it's not going to work as well as you just figuring out a way that you can convey your uniqueness and the uniqueness of your book to readers, and therefore be like, do you like Blade Runner? Do you like District 9? Do you like Jeff Vandermeer? Do you like China Miéville or Philip K. Dick? And be like, this is what you're going to get when you pick up my book. Like, I'm the best person to be able to convey to you like what the hell this book is about, what your expectations should be when you're going into this thing. And just based on that, you yourself as a reader can decide, yeah, that actually sounds like something I'd be really interested in. You know, someone's not into noir, they're probably not going to enjoy my book. Totally fine. But if you really love noir and you give it a shot, hopefully you love it. But I'm the best person to be able to convey the messaging of this book, as opposed to like me going out and spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars on some marketing campaign that is just like, here's 20 Instagrammers who are going to show off your book. And I'm like, and like, what the fuck does that give me? You know what I mean? No offense to the marketers, no offense to the bookstagrammers, but it's like, for me, that natural growth where it's like, here's a bookstagrammer who found my book and read it and loved it. Like, that's meaningful. Not like, here's some marketer who told this person, this is a book that is in my like, I'm putting together a tour for them or whatever, and they just show it off, and it's like, it doesn't do anything, you know? And so it's like, authors can really, instead of allocating funds to spend on marketing and things like that, it's like, allocate time and energy and thought on what you bring to the table and what your book brings to the table, what makes it unique in this like super saturated marketplace.
Very saturated. Well, you nailed it as far as all that stuff goes. You clearly nailed it. You're on an island of your own.
I'm on a mushroom floating in the ocean.
You're on a mushroom of your own.
You're a spore that's been fired from
drifting through the winds. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
But yeah, I hope people like out there don't copy what I did, but like figure out ways that you can have fun with it, and ways that make grab readers' attention and think like, not just this sounds like an interesting book, but also like, that sounds like an interesting author. You know, it's like, sometimes you can listen to an interview or watch an interview or something, and the book might sound interesting to you, but the author doesn't. You know, but if an author can convince you just based on themselves that their book is worth checking out, that is like a skill all on its own, 100%. You know.
And there has been books that I've picked up because I've watched, say, on your podcast or others, and said, hey, that sound really cool. They're interesting people. I'd like to,
I think Abercrombie could probably. Sorry, I think Abercrombie's got a personality like that. His exactly how hilarious he is. He could. Sorry, Charlie.
And I think no, that's good. No, it's absolutely bad. But I think that advice I've heard a number of times is, people writing the book that they want they want to read them. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
if there's a book that you love and want to read, then you're going to be very enthusiastic, as you are,
Yep.
clearly, Adrian, and that resonates with readers. And people said that genuine thing, and you can see that care and attention that's gone into it.
Mhm.
9 times a time, I want to do that rather than someone saying, "Hey, here's the latest Dragon book," or "Here's the latest," you know, whatever, just generic sort of marketing post, which I go,
Yeah.
not interested.
And it's like, I like, trust me, I love Dragon Rider fantasy, but it's like, don't think you're gonna blow up in Dragon Rider fantasy and indie right now. So
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you were going to write a dragon book anytime soon. I personally don't see myself doing it.
no, I mean, yeah, no, like dragons just are not a thing that I'm like invested in writing about. I love reading about dragons, but no, it's like I got too much other weird shit that I want to write.
There's plenty of stuff in your universe that we'd hear about.
Yeah. Unless you went for like a fungal dragon. Maybe.
No, but that's the thing. It's like I already have a very close friend who's writing a book about that, and I want to see what she does with it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Anna Smith Spark has weird dragons. You heard that some poisonous venom dragon? I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Very cool.
So yeah, normally we close out the podcast with like a final question, and that's normally like the brown paper bag quote, like how would you sell your book if it's just in a paper bag, like, you know, book blind dates. You've kind of already answered that question inadvertently. So I'm very pleased to go to our other closing question.
Oh no!
The cage match.
Wait, we have a second one.
We do.
Oh yeah, John Douglas is famous.
Oh yeah, okay.
The awkward question is: you find yourself in a rage in a cage match, no holds barred. Any author, live or dead.
Ooh.
Who are you choosing?
Interesting. Based on like who would I be interested to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of open ended.
The first time we answered this question ourselves, we all picked people we thought would kick our ass.
Would beat the shit out of us. So we're masochists, which clearly, obviously, we're writers.
Yeah.
You know, that shown through.
Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. Oh, I got it. Because I hung out with him in Seattle, and we were talking about the fact that he got a jiu-jitsu injury. Christopher Beardsmen.
Oh.
Obviously, I would wait until he's not injured anymore. But I feel like not only would Christopher and I be able to fight with like physicality, but we would also be able to throw insults at each other. So it'd be like Christoph the Insulter, which was like his like Ren Fair alter ego, where he was basically like people would pay him to like insult them. So not only would we fight physically, but we'd also fight verbally, and I think it would just be a lot of fun.
Verbal barbs as well.
Yeah. So Christopher Beardsmen. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Excellent.
One of us picked Jake Kristoff, maybe just because he's 6 foot a million. And
dude, yeah.
Jacked.
Like Alexander Darwin is like super proficient at MMA, so it'd be like he would just like annihilate me. But
was he on? Not to go tangent. Sorry, it's my curse. But I feel like he was on Between Two Perns. I don't know if you're familiar.
I think Alex. Yeah. Jackson's a friend of mine. I think Alex was on there. Yeah.
And he slung Jackson around a little bit, and that was
Oh, Alex has a great sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So he could verbally spar just as much as physically. Yeah.
Well, look, Adrian, we have run out of time, but before we go, tell us where we can find you online.
Yeah.
Tell us where we can find your book, and what have you got coming up next for us?
So you can follow me just like any platform at Adrian M. Gibson. You can follow the podcast at SFF Addicts Pod. New episodes out every Tuesday. We've got some really, really cool ones to close out the year. And then we've already got some lined up and recorded for early next year, which people are going to be really excited about when they see. And yeah, you can find that on like YouTube, Fanfight YouTube channel, in video, Spotify and video, and then all the podcast platforms and audio. You can go check out Mushroom Blues, which is book 1 in the Hoffman Report series. That is, anywhere you buy books. That's in audiobook, hardcover, paperback, ebook. wherever you like to buy stuff. And you can also check out the soundtrack and the Spotify playlist to go along with it. So if you read it, go check out the Spotify playlist. I made like 40 songs for 40 chapters just to give
Where's
you
a
like,
link to it? That I did not find that in my professional research.
just search Mushroom Blues on Spotify and you'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And the album will come up as well. And then on top of that, yeah, I've got the Fanfi Addict anthology, which is not yet announced, but we'll be announcing it soon. And then that'll be launching on Kickstarter. I'm co-editing that with Fraser Armitage and Eleni Arriero and Ed Crocker. And Tom's in there. He's got a story in there, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Officially under Tom Bookbeard, and DB's got a story in there as well,
Awesome.
with like one of the best names in the entire anthology.
Guys,
then,
you gotta get. I'm really not. I haven't read anything yet. I'm getting frustrated.
and then
we need to
Sorry?
say that to you.
yeah, I'll send you like a PDF or a Word doc
Oh,
or something.
sweet.
Yeah.
And then my novella, A Murder Most Fungal, that'll be coming out sometime in early 2026. Just wrapping that up now.
Look forward to that.
And that's between Mushroom Blues and the sequel. Basically just like a fungal sushi chef who gets wrapped up in a gangster conspiracy where they blackmail him to assassinate a politician.
Nice.
It's basically like Jiro Dreams of Sushi / The Bear meets like a Hong Kong crime thriller.
I love Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah, I love it so much, man. It's so good.
So awesome.
That was like one of my go-to comps. I was like, Jiro. Yeah, so look forward to that. And then a lot more stuff coming in 2026, but that's more like the immediate stuff that's coming up.
Well, we sure do appreciate you stooping to join the Four Beardsmen.
Oh, sure.
You're slumming it in the gut.
You have elevated me with your beards. Except Charlie.
Down under.
You need to work on your AI slop, sir.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Well, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you guys too.
We finally had you on the podcast.
I appreciate it.
The father of Sci-Fi Fantasy Podcast himself. But no, all the best to you, man. And everyone who's watching live or on catch up, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, all the rest of it. And we'll see you on the next one, which is next week. Thomas.
Yes. Yeah, we've got an RPG next week.
Nice.
Is the RPG?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, man.
Take care.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
You've been listening to the Four Beadsmen of the Book Apocalypse. Like, share, and subscribe for more.